Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I want to let you guys know why you should watch some of my favorite reality TV shows. So let's go. Why you should watch Love Island US is because it's actually really fun watching people find love. And yes, I know that sometimes you're worried that it's gonna be very edited and producer hand heavy. I get that. But sometimes you get the opportunity to see sparks of real love and real relationships, and that's what we're kind of looking for. And if we're gonna look over at the UK side of things, we get that spark where we were maybe seeing people get together and see that magic happen, but then they also have accents and they say things like, he's mugged me off and he pied me. And their accents and slang is so fun on top of hopefully seeing some love relationships develop and grow. It's a fun watch. And they're obviously gorgeous and they're in a gorgeous setting. So that's there too. And actually, the narrator is really funny. The narrator is a comedian and the narrator ends up becoming part of the show. So yes, that's why you should watch Love Island US and UK. Why you should watch Big Brother US is because I think for the United States, I do feel as though it really started my passion for these competitive reality shows, but it was also one that I could actually see myself doing and doing well. So that is why I think that you should watch Big Brother US, because you get to really see yourself on this type of game show, and you get to see, you can kind of put your mindset into that of a player, because you could be on that show. It's regular people that are doing kind of extraordinary things, and so you could really put yourself in the mindset of potentially winning $500,000. The same goes with Canada. Canada's a little bit newer. We just finished our 10th season, and I ended up kind of knowing somebody that was on that show. Now that is a crazy story that ended up happening, that the winner of Big Brother Canada used to live below me for 2 years and I didn't realize it. And when I was podcasting on Robinson Podcast, they figured it out, and they didn't let me know. And they came up and ambushed the podcast and letting me know that, hey, like, you used to live above the winner, Kevin, and you didn't know it. So the fact that you could be so close to, these reality TV contestants is also really interesting how accessible it actually is. Both size t-shirt, or they have to fit inside a hula hoop. They really torture them in a very lighthearted way, which is very, very entertaining. So watch it. So the reason you should watch Survivor is because you really get the opportunity to see people step out of their comfort zone and just do something wild and amazing. Something, it could be on their bucket list, it could be getting over their fear of heights, it can get over their fear of living in the wild. There's so many things that people have to overcome just to get on the show and survive. And I think it can be really, really inspiring, especially some of our favorite survivors like Sari. She said that she was just a woman that was sitting on her couch and she decided to get off her couch and go and try something and go on Survivor, and she ended up being really good at the game and really well loved by everybody. And so I love watching Survivor, and I think that you would love it too, because you start connecting with some of these stories and it's really inspiring to see people overcome a lot of things. And then on top of it, they have an opportunity to win $1 million US. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good show. So the reason why you should watch the Challenge All-Stars, any iteration of the challenge, is because they, I think, know how to do it best. The challenge, I believe, was the beginning of really understanding competitive reality TV shows. So it started with The Real World and Road Rules. And so those were 2 separate shows that were on MTV. And then they decided to kind of come together as a face-off. And it used to be called MTV's The Challenge. It was the Real World versus Road Rules, The Challenge. And so that's how it started, and then it started evolving, so it wasn't just like one show against another show. It started mixing together and other shows would come in, but those shows used to be really character driven. So Real World, you'd see people really from different walks of life that were living together in a house where people start getting real, the real world. And then you had Road Rules, which was like 6 or 7 people living on an RV doing challenges together in some other part of the world. And so I feel like they always really focused on people and character, and then they put them in these high pressure situations for a lot of money. And I just feel as though they got casting right, and they still bring back old contestants on The Challenge. And so that's what I really enjoy about it personally, is that you really have seen these people grow up for the last 20 years from when they first did their first appearance on Real World or Road Rules, and then now you're seeing them on season 38 of The Challenge proper. So that's the main show, and then All Stars are bringing back some of these people that haven't played in 15 or 20 years, so it's really nostalgic. And that's kind of what I love about The Challenge itself, is that it's always nostalgic. I have some sort of heart's connection to some of these people. And then now we kind of have it morphing into The Challenge CBS, The Challenge USA, and that's a little bit different, but what is similar is that everybody that is going to be competing on this show has already competed on something that we've already seen them. So they've either been from Love Island, they've been from Survivor, they've been from Big Brother, they've been from The Amazing Race, and so they have them competing on this show in the challenge type fashion. And so I'm really excited to see how they are going to do. So I love The Challenge, and I think that you would too, just because you really get to know these people as players, and you feel kind of akin to them. You should watch The Amazing Race, because it's just that. It's amazing. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love adventure, and if you love adventure, you would love watching this show. You have a partner that you get to run around the world with and experience new cultures, try new things, test many different facets of your personality, your abilities. You just get to do so many different things while running a race for $1 million. That's like the best that you can get here, is like doing some fun new things, new challenges, and at the end of it, you get to win a prize, and that's $1 million. So I think The Amazing Race is a really, really good one to watch. It's really fun. You should watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, because they were the first real love shows that I really got to connect with. And if you haven't watched them, you should maybe go do a little rewatch. Go back to the beginning where the fashion was really tacky and it really was a fairy tale that they were trying to create. I don't know if you're like me, and if in the early 2000s you ever watched Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire, I think it was called. And it was so wild at the time, but I watched it and I was really interested in seeing this social experiment. And I think that because it still is a social experiment, seeing these women vie for love and these men vie for love, it shows us that we all still really want love and we still want connection. And I do think it's really fascinating to see how people really relate with each other and how they can get together. And it's a love show. Who doesn't want to see a happy ending with a love show? And now with The Bachelor and Bachelorette, we do get different types of drama that kind of comes in, and it's still quite entertaining. And so if you want to kind of be taken into a really wild fantasy, watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette really would be something that you should get into, because it also gives us a platform for really, really interesting discussions. I'm so surprised by some of the conversations that I've had discussing these shows, whether it's been about race, whether it's been about how women interact with other women. There's so many different dynamics that actually show up on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette that it just creates these nuanced conversations that may never be had if we didn't have these shows. So if you want a really different platform to really have a springboard for these nuanced conversations, I would say start watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, because they're really interesting, surprisingly.